Good evening, guys. We'll start. Yeah, let's start. Which question were we on? I think we had completed 17, right? So, oh no, 19th, 20th is what we have to start. Seventeenth we had done. This is a good question, actually. I don't know whether we discussed this or not. You guys are there, right? Okay, fine. Can we start? Who wants to start first today? Question number 7. No, not 7, 17th. Abhilasha, you want to start?
Yes. Let me read out the question first. Okay, so what strategies would you employ to maximize the effectiveness of sprint demos, especially when engaging
Question
stake?
17th or 18th?
Oh, sorry, I went 20th.
No, 18th. 18th. 18th is the one.
Okay, so how would you improve collaboration among team members who are working remotely and facing communication challenges?
Yes.
Okay, so okay, so first of all, for communicating the between the team members who are sitting remotely, we can use the visual tools, kind of for video conferencing or something. Then like Teams or the Google Meet or Zoom link, something we can use. Then the second thing, we can adjust the time zone, so that some of the team members will not feel kind of headache every time, or they don't need to stretch. So maybe we can rotate the timing based on the availability of the team members. Then third things, we can use some kind of tools for the chatting or in screen sharing, so that the communication will be easy, like Teams or Google Chat kind of. Then before starting any kind of meetings or the ceremonies, we should have the clear agenda, who is going to present which things, or if there is any kind of questions or something.
Fair answer. Anybody else wants to add to this? So this question especially came after COVID. So most of you will be handling hybrid teams, hybrid and remote teams. So you will be in one location and your teams will be in some other location. So, and if that is the scenario, how are you going to facilitate all these events and how you are going to? So, Abhilasha mentioned time zone, which she mentioned. Then video conferencing, she said Zoom, Google Meet. Slack, Teams. Okay. Then, okay. What else can we
Sir,
say in
single
this?
source of truth, like single PBIs, we have to maintain every, if their teams are working on the same product for different teams, then we have to have a same product backlog.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, that is there. Yes. Correct. No, but how question here is that if you are handling a remote team, if there are remote teams that you are handling, how will you make sure that the communication happens between them effectively? That is the question.
One thing also I want to add, we need to avoid any kind of distractions or something. So
Hmm.
just so that if we are talking, so other person should not be like, or
Sir,
when someone else is talking, then maybe we should be on, other one should be on mute to avoid any kind of distraction. I mean, this is a basic practice, nothing related with the Scrum or thing, but
Correct.
basically.
We can
sir,
share tools like Jira, Trello, Miro, and Confluence for distributed team.
Yes,
Calls
correct.
can be recorded.
Calls can be recorded. Yes.
we have to focus on the dependencies. If one team is having dependency on other teams, then we have to make sure that the dependencies are addressed so that uh, there should be a collaboration and the dependencies have to be sorted out first.
Okay. Fine.
Screen sharing.
Screen sharing. But
Sir,
see,
we
this is
can
a remote team.
asking
How are you?
the
Hmm?
asking the other people to be on camera, requesting them to be on camera.
Okay. Requesting people to be on camera.
sir, we can identify the communication gaps because if teams are working remotely, if someone have issue, if he raise that, how the other person is responding. So that is also important thing.
So, what are the channels of communication? So,
Hmm.
synchronous and asynchronous, and then team availability. What I think you want to say is that there should be, if somebody is asking a question on a Teams or a Slack, what is the SLA within
Ah,
which you have to respond? If somebody has sent a email,
email.
then within a day or two you, so that working agreements we need to have, especially in remote teams for communication, that one, how are we going to communicate to each other? So there are two ways of communicating: synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous will be your daily stand-up, sprint review, or sprint reviews, one-on-ones. All these events are your synchronous. Synchronous is we can talk to each other. Then asynchronous is your team, Slack, Jira comments, Confluent updates, all those things. So, how the teams will communicate with each other is through these mechanisms. And then, even on their teams or Slack status messages, they should be clearly mentioning which, what are their availability hours. Same in the signature of their emails also, they can add their availability hours so that the others can know when this person is available. So remote teams or hybrid way of working, uh, you establish channels of communication and when these people are available, and all the events that you are doing, you are making sure that the video is on. Apart from that, what are you going to do to build the team bonding?
Sir, encourage open feedback and idea sharing without fear of judgment, like that. Then recognition, contribution publicly, and especially from remote members.
Will you do some Friday fun sessions,
Right.
some
And
agile games,
Icebreaker in retrospectives.
retrospective.
icebreakers, and retrospectives? There is something called these days they call something called virtual coffee chats, where everybody gets in their coffee or tea and they have a chit chat. They do it in the lunch hour also, or but so that also we can do.
Then documentation, document decision in a Confluence page like that.
Okay. I think feedback also you covered. Okay, I think we covered a lot of. So basically identify how they will collaborate, set up the communication channels, the tools that you are going to be using, bonding sessions, and then of course video calls in on the Scrum sessions or the Scrum meetings. Yeah. Okay. Lot of times these days people are asking how do you handle remote teams. So this is important that you cover all of these aspects. Okay. Then question number 19. Who is going to do question number 19? Easy. This is a cakewalk. We have discussed it 100 times. So anybody who has not attempted this question should attempt it. Who wants to attempt? We have discussed it a lot of times. It is, but you have to say from the point of view of the Scrum Master. Everybody is so confident that they are saying, okay, let someone else answer.
Mid-sprint change, right?
No, question is,
How would you respond as a business analyst if a company?
no, so I think let's leave this question. We'll do it at the end. We already know how to handle this. Question number 20 is question number 20. Let's do question 20. Maximizing sprint demo. What strategies would you employ to maximize the effectiveness of sprint reviews, especially when engaging stakeholders who have shown disinterest in the past sessions? Again, stakeholders are not interested. What are you going to do? We've discussed this a lot of times. What are you going to do?
Okay, sir, I
I
can go.
can.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Chavan sir, go ahead.
Okay, so if we want to involve stakeholder, we have to uh, send prior notification to them. Okay, and our delivery, it should be actually whatever expectation from the stakeholder, that I mean delivery should achieve the goal actually to stakeholder. Then only stakeholder can interested to attend the our review meeting. I mean sprint review meeting. So yeah, so prior notification how to give them, and personally also they want to invite actually. Okay, and we have to, I mean, as a scrum master actually have to explain actually what is the benefit to business and all like that. So
So Scrum coaching, where you will be telling them why it is important for them to come and give the feedback, because without feedback, the Scrum process
yeah.
does not work well. Okay, understood. Yes, what else? You are not covering the first aspect of it. What is the basic first thing you are going to be doing? If you will find the root cause, yeah, why they are disinterested. You will have a one-on-one meetings with them. You will try to find out why they are not interested. If they don't attend the meetings, you will try to find out why. Do you not see the value? Do you need a different format? Are we not showing you the working software? You are not happy with what we are doing. Basically, what is the reason why you are not interested? So maybe stakeholders are saying your demos are too technical. These stakeholders are not very technical yet. So if you are talking very technical, then they may not be interested.
Should
So
be interactive demos.
so they will be interested in the features from the end user's perspective. Basically, the usability of the features, the design improvements, the if you they are, if you are asking their feedback and you are working on that feedback, then they will be interested. Okay, so that you have to. Okay, then of course, inviting well beforehand, publishing sprint calendars beforehand, optimizing the structure of demo, as in uh, give them use cases, let them use it, question and answers, uh, and okay, all of these things we have discussed. Anything else that we are missing?
It should not be limited to any presentation kind of a thing, sir.
Pretty
Okay.
presentation.
And if at all we cannot show the working software, at least we should show them the placeholders that, okay, this is how it should look like. At least we can show the dummy data instead of explaining them in technical kind of a thing.
Okay. If otherwise, yeah, I mean, use cases, organic data is required, but yeah, if
If at all it is not possible in worst case scenarios, then we
Hmm.
can show them at least the static data at least.
From a yeah, I think Priyanka wants to make a point. Yeah, Priyanka, you make a point.
So one of the reasons can be that the feedback which we are receiving from the stakeholders that is not being implemented, because of which they are disinterested.
Yes. So how will you make sure that the feedback is logged or registered?
I think we can maintain in Jira or Confluence the feedback which is received. We can go back and discuss with the team on the feedback along with the product owner, and discuss what can be implemented. If there are major comments which are there which has to be immediately addressed or not, and log those issues, and share the MOM also with the client that these feedbacks will be taken care, or when
So
it will be taken care.
that's the word. So you have to after every such review, the key takeaways, the action item for the teams, and the next steps. That is what Scrum Master has to do. You can do it on your own. I mean, you can start doing these things and then you can rotate it. But as a trendsetter, as a leader, you can do it yourself initially. What are the key takeaways? What are the action items for the team? So action items of teams, we will fix bug number QL1111, story QL22222, whatever. So exact specific action items, key takeaways. And one other thing is that the word which you have to use is feedback loop. Sprint reviews are a mechanism to implement what is called feedback loop. You plan, you execute, you take feedback. Based on the feedback, again, you work, then again you plan, again you show. So there is an entire circle. So this feedback loop is basically you work, you show it to the stakeholders. Based on their feedback, you work again, then again you show it. So if this piece is missing, then the entire agile process or the Scrum process collapses. So you need sprint reviews, proper sprint reviews, to make sure the feedback loop is established. And because of this feedback loop, Scrum or Agile is very effective. If you don't use the sprint reviews, then this feedback loop is killed and then Scrum becomes essentially waterfall only. Okay. Yeah. Anything, any other?
Sir, as a SM,
Hmm.
I would provide a ETA on the fix. Like short-term fix, mid-term fix, and long-term fix.
SM cannot provide an ETA. You have to work with the team, and then team can give you the ETA, and that you can communicate.
Okay.
Okay. What you're saying is right, but yeah, I'm just correcting you technically. They may pick up. So that's a project manager statement. Scrum Master would say, I will work with the team, I will check with the team will give us an ETA, and that communication I will make sure happens to the stakeholder when is the ETA for those stories or bugs that we are going to fix. Okay. Another important thing that which Scrum Master has to do, two important things that we missed. One is if there is a negative feedback, then no blame game. No blame game. Say creating a safe environment, culture setting that demos or reviews are an opportunity to improve. Negative feedback is not a failure, it is an opportunity to improve. That is the main role of the Scrum Master here. And set the expectation. Tell the product owner or the QA, whosoever is doing the sprint reviews, to make sure the starting of that meeting, set the expectations right. And even previously, a day prior to the meeting, you can set the clear agenda. This is the feature which we are going to show, these many stories. This is for 15 minutes, this, next 10 minutes, this. Set a clear agenda so that they know what they are getting into. Okay, so can we sum up? Understand the reasons for their disinterest, fix them, show the business value of the features, real world scenarios, user centric outcomes, set the expectations, culture of psychologically safe culture, key takeaways, action items, ETAs, all of that have to be communicated after the meeting, and of course, coaching on the feedback loop. So these are some of the things you have to say in this answer. Priyanka wants to say something else also.
No, sir.
Yes, you're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is done. Then next is question number. I think this we have discussed multiple times, and I expect a very nice answer. Key team member falls ill, sprint progress is down. What are you going to do? This is the last time we are discussing, so we've discussed it multiple times. So first, what is the first step? Any sprint disruption. In this case, sprint disruption is happening due to a key member not being there, ill. First step?
Acknowledge.
First of all,
Sir,
we need to
acknowledge.
Sorry, yeah.
assess.
No, what is the first step in sprint disruptions?
We need to assess the impact of that team members and availability. And
Assess
what are the
immediate
responsibilities?
impact of the event, whatever has happened. In this case, the guy is not there. Okay, then?
After assessing, maybe we need to talk and sit with the product owner and other team members, like
Yes.
who can take up the responsibility based on the capacity.
Yes. So first two steps are clear to me. What is you will assess the impact. What is the impact? Second thing is you will reallocate the work, sitting with PO and the team based on the capacity. Okay. Then?
And then this might involve like if the person who was working on some task that is on a priority, so maybe we need to reprioritize our sprint backlog.
Cross keeping.
Very good. Reprioritize. So assess the impact, reallocate the work, reprioritize the work. Okay. Understood. Then last two steps we all know, yaar.
Communicate it to the
Stakeholders. Yes.
holders and
Whatever has been done, communicate it to the stakeholder. You can send an email that something like this happened, so there is an adjustment. Now we are doing this instead of the earlier plan. And the last step is the
Retrospective.
what do we do there?
So it will be retrospective learning what after this we'll discuss how team can most means how we can react to the sudden
Did we
absences.
react well, or could we have done better in case this happens in future? Some emergency happens. What is the working agreement that we can do? How we can handle those kind of situations?
Mm.
Maybe it has happened that some critical resource is not there and nobody else knows what he was doing. In that case, nobody else was able to pick up that story.
Mm.
So in the retrospective, we make sure that the gap is identified and we start pair programming with that senior person so that in case he takes an unplanned leave in future, we don't miss out on stories. Something like this, you can give an example. So is this clear to everybody that any disruption, what kind of disruptions can happen? Key people not coming there, SIT
Down.
crashes, a mid sprint feature comes, business objectives change. There could be 100 number of things that can happen. Same, what is the impact of that event on the current sprint? Reallocate the work, reprioritize the work, send that communication to the stakeholder, and in retrospective see was that the best we could have done or could we have done anything better, whatever are the learnings, so that in case same thing happens in future we are better prepared. So this 4 or 5 steps for every disruption you can use. Is this clear?
And when we preparing capacity sheet, that time we can keep buffer for specific percentage, right?
Yes, but yes, of course, correct. Okay, that is good. Now question number 22. Again, this is very easy. Sudipta, you want to answer this? Question number 22. Very easy. Don't go into the details, just the over the top, because we have discussed this multiple times.
Is the question, how does the team ensure work remains aligned to sprint goal? Is the question?
No, no. Enhancing the requirement clarity. Question number 22. How would you improve the clarity and details of requirements in user stories to prevent ambiguity and rework? That's the question 22, right? Yes or no? Yes, right?
Okay,
Or
I think I have it.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
please
Yes,
pardon,
yes.
sir?
Yes, yes.
How to, what is the question? How to remove?
question is how would you improve the clarity and detail of requirements in user stories to prevent ambiguity and rework?
Um,
Invest.
Three words you have to tell me.
Invest.
Invest
Invest.
is the first word.
DOR, and invest.
DOR,
Active or
invest, and
Acceptance criteria should be cleared and then invest with
yes.
need to apply.
an acceptance criteria, you will blah blah blah. Invest, you will explain each and every point. DOR, you will explain what is that. So these three things are a bare minimum. Whenever there is a problem with requirement clarity, you have to mention these three words and then explain them. Fine, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Then question number 24. This also we have discussed. So let's see if you guys remember it. Who wants to answer this?
Let's see the questions. Why?
Question number 20. Question number 24.
24.
3, sir.
The 23
Oh, sorry.
question.
What is that 23?
Adjusting to rapidly changing user preferences. How would you adjust the project direction if user testing reveals that the preference of your target audience has
Leave
significantly
that question.
shifted?
Question number 24 is the one which is.
Okay. Sir, but the 23rd, it means the priorities are changing or the.
We will get into that.
Okay.
Let's do the question number 24 first. Because we've already done this, I need to know whether you guys you know this or not.
Just interrupting in between. Sir, this Abhilasha, you have sent these questions, right, in the mail? I don't know, somehow I'm getting
I will
misaligned.
send it again now. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. Yes, she has sent it, but those questions.
No, I shared it with in this this thing also, but fine. Not for real. Yeah, question number 24. Who wants to answer? Yeah, already we have discussed it, so I hope you guys should be able to.
Sir, I can answer.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a Scrum Master, how would I ensure that both the technical depth and the new feature development is taken care is? I would ensure that for technical depth, I would speak to the stakeholder, I mean the product owner and the team, and I would inform them that these technical depths are there with the data and with the data from the previous sprints and the ongoing sprint as well. And in the sprint planning, I would discuss like what technical depth can we take, like around 10% of what our capacity. And regarding new user stories, new features, I would seek the product owner's help to prioritize them on what is important to the business and which is critical. So based on the criticality in the sprint planning session, we would pick up the user stories and prioritize. So
Yes.
this way, both technical depth also is met and the new features also. The importance will be given to building new features because they are of more value. But technical depth also needs to,
We
I mean, we
address.
need to fix the technical depth also. So I would allocate around 10-15% for technical depth.
What is there's the popular rule is 10, 15, 20. 10% is ideal. If not 10, then 15. Worst case 20. We cannot go beyond 20%. If it is beyond 20%, 25, 30, 35%, that can happen just for a very one-off sprint. That too, you need to get approvals from the stakeholders and you need to get a buy-in from the stakeholders. If let us say half your stories are technical improvement stories, 50%, then why is it happening? Maybe there is some major revamp happening, you're doing some major upgrade or whatever. So that justification you have to get, but that can also happen, but that'll be a one-off. But yeah, but okay, so this is fine, but can we have more structure to this question? What you've said is correct. What you've said is correct, but let's just give it little more structure. First step.
Can I answer?
Can we
No.
Can we use Moscow method so that we can say that we will use Moscow method in this so that we can prioritize the must-have products, the items in this sprint so that we can accommodate the must-have depths and must-have this product to be developed in this sprint so that we can parallelly we can balance both the technical depths and this prioritized products also in the same sprint.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Fair enough. Abhilasha, you have answered it. So I want to say, you will answer, I know. Deepak sir has answered. PC sir will answer. I think all of you will be able to.
Sir, I can add one more point is that make technical depth visible in the backlog.
Beautiful.
Is it right?
Okay. Okay. Yes. Agreed. So can I say first, as with every scenario-based question, first step will be your impact analysis. What is the impact of technical debt? Before making any decision, understand what is the technical debt in your team and how it is going to impact your current and future development. Is it impacting your system performance? Is it impacting your security? Is it impacting your stability? Will there be a problem in the future? Will we get a lot of bugs in future releases? What is the risk if we don't fix it now? For example, the team identifies that there could be an issue, our API architecture is outdated, which could be causing delays or which could be leading to rework. So in that case, what is the risk? And if we don't fix it, then there will be a lot of issues. So we will rather fix it rather than not fix it. So please make sure you give an example. Another example, let us say there is a very popular framework in UI Angular. So Angular, there is a yearly updates. So let us say your team is um, uh, five. So let us say the current version is 20. They are working on version 15. So that's a very old version. If there could be a problem in the, if you don't upgrade it now, then there could be a chance that you could get vulnerabilities so huge that it could stop your production also. So if you have to frequently update your underlying technology, that's a big risk. So that also. So please, without examples, your answer are of no use. Sorry, I have to be little blunt. Better that you get this rude shock now than in the interviews. Please try and give proper examples. In any case, I will give you a list of 10, 15, 20 examples also. Okay, so this is done. What is the impact?
Yep.
Then you sit with the product owner. After assessing the impact, then you sit with the product owner. Now, let us say there are a lot of, there is a huge risk and P also understands it, then you can allocate 20%. Maybe the risk is even vast, then for a time being 25-30% also, just for a couple of sprints. But that buy-in has to happen. But typically it should not exceed 20%. So allocate some capacity with the product owner, 10, 15, 20, whatever. And then propose a mixture of technical debt stories or technical task and the new development task. And that's, I think that's, but you have to, and when you are getting a buy-in from the stakeholders, explain them the business justifications for doing this. For example, if we refactor APIs, it will reduce development time by 20% for future sprints. If we address this technical debt, then we will, if we upgrade our Angular, then we will reduce the future production bugs by 20%. If we improve our database queries, we will improve our performance by 30%, or peak load times we will reduce by 20%. You have, so these are business outcomes of fixing the technical debts. Please understand this wording. For technical debts, you have to explain the business outcomes of fixing the technical issues. If you are able to explain the business outcomes to the stakeholders, then it will be a job well done. Is this clear to all of you? Kiran, you are good with this? Okay.
Yes.
So fixing the technical debts, what is the advantage of fixing the technical debts? What are the business outcomes? Future bugs are reduced, development time is reduced, system stability increases, customer satisfaction increases. We have to explain in these terms when we are fixing the. Okay. I think this is good. And of course, no big bang strategy, incremental approach. If there are issues, we'll just fix the technical debt. No, 20%, 15%. Maybe if there are too many things, then 25%. But 10, 15, 20. Okay.
Sir, I want to add something, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, if we are having more technical debt and we are clearing it by having some troubleshooting techniques, and we have to document it, and it should be available to everyone, so that what happens is, if that same product is being upgraded in the next year, then whatever we did, if we don't document it, then again we have to do the rework again. So we have to document it properly, and it should be available to everyone, visible to everyone, so that that cannot be repeated again.
Yes. Fair point.
Because documentation is also part of technical debt. That's what I mean, actually.
Yes. One other important thing, if there are too many technical debts, then definitely take it up as an action item in the retrospectives. Find out the reasons why there are technical debts and what are the corrective actions. Maybe code reviews are not happening properly. Maybe we are jumping to the coding without a proper design. Maybe we are not fixing medium priority or bugs in time. Whatever are the reasons and what are the corrective actions. Okay, so
Sir, all this list of issues or list of item, I can say, so it will come in what escape defect actually. Under that actually report it will appear, right? If you want to prepare the report for this, so it will appear under escape this thing, defect report.
no.
Quality and reports are there, right? Under that.
Quality reports. No, these are, see, the question is, if if there is a debate among the product owners and the team, that team wants to fix, they want to do technical upgrade or fix the code or something like that. The PO wants new stories to be done. If there is a debate, so the management always wants new business features. The architect and the technical team wants technical improvements. So there is always a clash between these two sides. You understood the problem? And this is a very, very common challenge for the teams. Teams want to upgrade they want to do technical improvements. The business side wants to just build new features. So if there is a debate, if this is a trade-off, then how you are going to handle this situation? This is the question. So how you will handle, you will understand what are your technical debts. Then you will sit with the PO, allocate a capacity. Then you will form a plan. Then you will document it. Then you will work with an incremental approach rather than a big bang approach. And if there are too many technical debts, you will work with the team in finding out the root causes and taking corrective actions, improving the engineering practices to reduce the technical debt.
Yeah, but if you want to visualize this actually later on, so which report we can use? That is my
There
question.
is, see,
That is
basically your bugs report only.
right. Not defect escape report
So
something.
okay, that is your question. So ideally, there should be a different epic for technical debts. So there are two types of, in Jira, there are two types how you can identify. One is the stories that you are going to work on, the either technical improvement stories, technical upgrade stories, or code optimization stories or code refactoring stories. So those stories should come under your technical debt epic. So technical debt epic is the epic which will be created by the architect. And underneath that, you will have stories which will be either code refactoring stories or some restructuring or technical upgrade stories. The other technical debt is your bugs. All of your bugs are your technical debt. So high priority bugs, in any case, you are going to be fixing. Otherwise, you will not allow stories to be closed, critical bugs. But all the non-critical bugs that the teams forget, those bugs are your medium, lowest priority bugs. They become a technical debt. If you don't, so let us say the teams don't fix bugs, those low priority or medium priority bugs for 6 months. After 6 months, it turns out that those bugs will create a lot of problems in future. So that is your, any vulnerabilities of, you run security scans very regularly. Any vulnerability fixes which have not been done, low priority, medium priority, those also are your technical debt. So any bugs which have not been fixed in the past 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, those are your technical debts. Then your technical upgrades and code refactoring story.
Okay. Actually, I missed that word matrix. Actually, that's why I confused. I use report, right? That's why, because there is under actually in your this thing, presentation, right? Over there, actually, that escape defect matrix is there, right? That's why I asked this
Escape
question.
defects is different. Escape defects are defects which we find in production.
Right.
So defects, so you do a release, after the release, whatever defects come, those defects are your escape defects. It is related only, but logically it is two different things we are talking about.
Okay.
Sir, one doubt, sir. Can we use a Kanban board for this technical depth separately? Because the visualization with the work in progress limitation, we can use it so that it is visible.
You can even have a WIP limit in Scrum board also. But if you want to use a Kanban, that is also fine. There is no problem in that. Okay, so then this was done. Now let's go back to question number 23, which we skipped here. Yes. This is a question which typically they may not ask you, but still we can do this. Yeah. Who wants to do this? Venkatesh sir, you try this here.
So rapidly changing user preferences, right, sir?
Correct.
How would you adjust the project direction if user testing reveals that the preferences of your target audience have significantly shifted since the project is released? Okay, we have
is this the question or question number 23? Where is that?
Adjusting to rapidly changing user preferences.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
So actually, the question is, we have planned something, we have anticipated something, and we are in something, but the user preferences are changing rapidly. That there are sudden surprises in the mid sprints, so that we have to how a Scrum Master have to handle this. This is what I understood. This question is correct, sir.
Yes.
Okay, and then first of all, again the same concept. First of all, we have to assess the risk. The first thing is why the rapid changes are happening. Either the stakeholders are insisting and the PO is not understanding. Whatever may be the reasons, we have to assess why it is happening. If it is frequently, it's a trend. We have to inform to the stakeholders also that it should not happen. So leaving all these things, first we have to assess the impact, and then
now good.
And then we have to discuss with the team and all the SMEs, stakeholders, senior management involved, because the users are insisting that is having a business value. So direct stakeholders are involved here. So we have to in these meetings we have to involve the senior management also, so that they will also know why it is happening.
Good.
So the pressure from there, they will understand if the senior management has have clear understanding of this is happening, but this is affecting the sprint, then the work down the lane till from the strategic to the operational level, things will be smooth and understandable. So that meeting has to be done in such a way that that has to be done. Again, if it has to be inculcated in that sprint, again we have to sit with the PO and we have to reprioritize it again.
See, one thing I would say, this corrective action comes at the last. Okay. Most of the answers which you guys are giving is again finding the root cause of these things. That will come. But the first thing is, what is the impact? How it impacts my current sprint. So two things you have to find out. What is the impact on my sprint backlog? What is the impact on my product backlog? And you will call a meeting. Whenever these kind of situations happen, you will call a emergency backlog grooming meeting. That is what Scrum Master's role is. You guys suddenly think you are the CTO and you start answering from that perspective. Reasons, यार छोटे लोग हैं भाई हम लोग Scrum Master, इतने बड़े लोग नहीं है, CTO नहीं है अभी. So first, what you have to assess is that what is the impact on the sprint backlog? Are my current stories relevant or not? Whatever current stories are not relevant, keep it aside to the product backlog. Whatever new stories come, have a backlog grooming session, and what is the impact on product backlog, how does the priority changes. So that is the first assessment you have to do. What is the change in my sprint backlog, what is the change in my product backlog, what is the change in my priority, and you do all this in a meeting with the product owner and the team. These are the first few steps. Then what is the next step?
Then we'll be having again the product backlog refinement activity.
Fine.
And we will assess it, and then we will be taking the user stories, have the acceptance criteria properly estimated, and we will start working at least.
Yes. Now you can, after doing all this, you also have to mention if there are frequent disruptions, you will make sure that then after doing all this, then you will make sure that you educate the, like you said, the stakeholders that frequent disruptions are a big problem. For any product, any project, frequent disruptions are a killer. So obviously you need stability at least for 10 days. Another thing you can suggest is if there are too many frequent changes of priorities, then you can even have a 1 week sprint. Instead of 2 week sprint, will you guys be able to give a stable requirement just for 1 week? We can do a 1 week sprint, but those are only possible if it is a very fast moving product or a Spotify or thing like that, where you have multiple releases early. So 1 week you can experiment with that also. The other thing is, of course, if the team is, you will try to protect your sprint goal, and somebody said you will explain the why these things are getting changed frequently. You will discuss the why, and you will make sure the team understands the why. Everyone understands why behind the change, and rather than changing too many things frequently, you can do these changes incrementally. Okay. Anything else that you want to say? Anybody else? Of course, you will give the gyan on scope creep, blah, blah, blah. Scope creep should not happen. That you will do. And then last two things you already know. Communicate whatever changes have happened, communicate effectively to the stakeholders, and do a retrospection whether we handle these changes in the best possible way or not. So these are your, okay. I think we have done this enough. You guys are going to remember this for a very long time, at least till the time it will do.
Okay. In this question, we can explain that invest criteria also, right? Invest method, then grooming was not happen properly, like that also.
So
we
in
can
this
explain.
case, the problem is not grooming, PC sir. In this case, the problem is PO is changing priorities. He is saying feature X is important. Then after 4 days, he comes, no, feature X. We are doing 5 stories on feature X. Let's leave it. We have two more stories from feature Y we have to do. So you drop 2 stories from feature X, we pick up 2 stories from feature Y. Next sprint again, he starts with 10 stories, but then he says among those critical stories, no, they are no longer critical. Something else is more critical. And this is what happens in real life. Lot of times, lot of teams struggle where PO does not have a proper vision of the product. This is changing priorities are there. This is the question, right? There is one other. Where was the question? Okay. That's the question, right?
23rd, right? 23rd.
This is the question, right? Frequently, the priorities are changing frequently. That is the problem.
Yes, I will change the reference.
The grooming is not that big an issue in this case. In this scenario, the scenario is that the priorities are getting changed frequently. Suddenly, every sprint they are changing. There's no stability to the product vision. That's the problem in this case. And it happens very frequently. That's the How would you adjust product if user testing reveals the pressure have significantly since the exception? Basically, in UAT or in production, they found out that instead of users had different preferences earlier, now they have different preferences. Users wanted something else earlier, now users want something else. In those cases, yes, then you have to explain the reasons of those changes to the team. And as a Scrum Master, what are the changes to your sprint backlog and product backlog? Those are clearly discussed with the team. The communication is sent out to the stakeholders. That's all you can do. See, you cannot control the behavior of the consumers, right? That is why I was giving you the example of Spotify. There are few products. Spotify is used by mostly teenagers or whatever. They sometimes they like some features, suddenly they will do not. Instagram, for example, frequently they change the way reels come. Sometimes they will change the layout of it, the way you like the algorithm. So there are frequent changes. So there are certain applications or software in the world which will have disruptions very, very quickly. So as long as, so what does a Scrum Master do in this case? Scrum Master's job is very simple in that case. Every time there is a disruption, what is the impact on my sprint backlog? What is the impact on my product backlog? What is the impact on my priorities? Get a call with everybody, and whatever is decided, explain it to the team and communicate it to the stakeholders. That's your bottom line process. Is that? Then next, I think 24th we have already done. 22nd we have already done. 25th is no. Is there any? 28th question is the one which we are going to discuss now. This is a very interesting question now. Yes. No, in fact, 28th, we can discuss it on Monday. I have to do stakeholder management and conflict management with you. That is when we will do. But still, we can start off with that. I don't mind. Let's attempt this question. Let's see what you guys have to say on this, and then I can pitch in. Who wants to do?
Which question, sir?
Question number 28. Question number 28. Abhilasha, you want to do this?
Yes, I can. Okay. So question is, you need to gather requirements for a complex application which involves multiple stakeholders with different needs. So how would you approach this task to ensure all critical requirements are captured? So what I understood by this question is every stakeholder has their own point of view or their own priorities to involve or to include. Then how would you respond in this situation? So
Yes.
So, like in this scenario, first of all, we need to set up a kind of the meeting which involves everyone, like PO and all the stakeholders need to get the inputs from all the stakeholders. Then, based on the market research or what things is currently going into the market, so based on that, maybe we can decide which features we can include, or the prioritization technique also we can use, like Moscow, where we can based on that we can like decide which features should be must have, should have. Then we can involve that. Then once if those features are the critical, or we'll check the impacts, like if those needs to be involved in the current sprint, or into the those can be involved into the feature or future sprints, then maybe we can add those things into the product backlog. Otherwise, again, we will check the impact, assess the impact, and where we can fit those features. So the things we already discussed, we will need to implement those here also.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Fair answer, but I'll give you a detailed answer on Monday when we'll do stakeholder management. So we'll discuss who are these stakeholders, how do you, there is something called stakeholder metrics we have to, in some organizations, stakeholders are handled by the product owner. But in some organizations, you may end up having a role where you will have to handle these stakeholders. So that's an topic which we'll do in little bit in detail. So that will start on Monday. But yeah, fair answer. So basically you will have a call, you will get your PO and multiple stakeholders. You will use Moscow or WSFJ and find out the scores of each feature. Whichever feature has a higher score or whichever feature is a must have, you will use that and then explain the stakeholders why. So let us say PC and Kiran and Deepak are competing stakeholders. So we are picking up PC's work, not picking up Deepak's and Kiran's feature. We will explain them during the meeting that since we did a WSFJ, this had a higher score or whatever prioritization method. So this is more important or this is more valuable. We are going to do this first. Then in the next sprint, we will take up the rest of the features like that. But I'll do a detailed analysis when we see each other.
This question was asked yesterday, sir.
Oh.
This is the question. This question took me 15 to 20 minutes.
What did you answer?
He said there are two to three stakeholders insisting on the product owner, and the product owner was unable to do it. And in the situation, how do you handle that? There are senior stakeholders and the client is also involved. So what you do it? Then in that point of time, I said that, okay, if the product owner is unable to do it, I have to take in this as my as a challenge, and we have to. I use the technique WSJF because the best option is instead of going to Moscow, the WSJF technique. Then he said, why WSJF and what do you understand by WSJF? Then I said that in SJF, we will be having the assessment of the business value, the time criticality, and the reduced reduction risk reduction, and the effort also involved in it. So what I will do it is, in this situation, I'll involve my team in the discussion so that they will also have the impact and they will also have the clear idea of what is the credibility of the situation. And instead of me having a separate session of boosting up their morale, they will also involved in this, and the stakeholders can also understand how it is. And we collectively had a discussion, and we will have this thing done there. And the WSF is the best technique I will use. Then, okay, the many cross questions he asked, but he's satisfied with the answer, I think.
Okay. Yes. I'll give you even better answer on Monday when we do the stakeholder management in detail. But yeah, very decent answer. Yours also and Abhilasha's also. Decent answer. But of course, we will improve it a little bit on Monday when we do it. Okay. Another question. Another very popular question these days. So let us say you are the Scrum Master and your team has not been able to complete their user stories. Just an extension of what we discussed yesterday. Understand the question. So how do you deal with the stakeholders if the stories are not completed? So let us say this out of 10 stories, only 4 stories were completed. 6 stories are not completed. Stakeholders on top of your head. How you will deal with that? You understood the question, all of you. Your team is not able to complete the stories. You have stakeholders on your head. How you are going to deal with them?
Sir, I would first of all be calm, and then I would present the data to the stakeholders that this is what we have done, and based on our capacity, we could only meet this much. But in future sprints, we will take care to ensure we meet the required whatever capacity we have. And these are the impacts we had. I mean, we faced certain challenges. What are the challenges?
Give me an example. What is a typical? So I get this. So this is a very good point. You will stay calm and you will give them the data that we could complete 4 stories out of 10 or 3 out of 13, whatever. You will give them the data without emotion. You will acknowledge, okay, this is what you have done. And then you will explain them what were the root causes of not being able to do. So can you give me an example?
Like our dev was impacted because one of our servers went down. So because of that, we couldn't complete the critical stories. But because of we tried to address that issue. While working on that issue, it took us around 3-4 days. So during that time,
What was the issue?
like the servers was down, the SIT dev server was down, so we couldn't complete our unit testing, and it got affected. We couldn't do more testing on it. So because of that, it impacted our critical work.
What was the process that you followed if the dev server was down?
First, we went ahead when we raised a ticket, a critical ticket, with the persons who are involved in the server management. So once we did that, we tried to follow up and understand why the server is down. And we also had we also tried to mock the same environment in a different way. So that also it took a couple of days to have that setup done. So because of this setup, we faced a few challenges. So
And as a Scrum Master, what did you do to make sure that this will not happen in future?
like we had an agreement that if such scenarios happen in the future, it should we need a workable solution at our end. We need the criticality is very high, and we need some kind of an arrangement where we need an alternative server, an alternative backup to the same environment. Like for production, there's a pre-prod which has a similar data. So we need a similar setup, another alternative server also, backup server. So that arrangement they have agreed to do. So in the future, if any server is down, the backup server will automatically come up. So we don't need to involve the other team as well. So that process has also been taken care.
Good. Very good that you were able to handle the cross question. Good, nice. Okay, let's Sudipta. Yeah, good approach. Yeah, we'll cover rest of the points, but 2 very good points. Yes, Sudipta, you want to?
I just wanted to answer, like, in the cross question you have asked, like, what approach. Then I would say, like, in the beginning of the sprint, I would make sure that we are maintaining a column in Jira, that our SIT is present. Like, we are from the beginning only, we are taking care before it is going for testing, the talking with the other DevOps team, that the server is ready, so that in for the future sprint, so that we are not missed, like server is not on. That way can we answer?
Oh, yours is a question actually rather than an answer.
No, yes, like if this answer is given for the cross question you have asked, like what approach you have taken.
So your approach was to?
My approach was to in the beginning of the sprint itself, maintaining a column in Jira, like that server is present or not, and before the test it is going to the testing, coordinating with the DevOps team that beforehand only, that the server is all right, so that it can go for unit testing, and uh, it is not blocked.
No. See,
No.
because see, the question was what strategy. So how you will? What did you do to? So he says the dev server was down. So what did you do to fix it? So you raised a ticket with these guys, you made multiple follow-ups, you involved the architect, and whether only your team is impacted or it is an organization-wide problem. If it is only your team which is impacted, then you do the communication with these guys. You make sure the DevOps or the server management team is well aware of the criticality of your feature delivery, and your stakeholders are also, and your internal management is also informed that, okay, boss, this is the problem. This is who is, this is the problem. This is the team who's fixing it. This is the ETA they have given. And this will be the impact of this deal. So basically, whenever you are explaining the delay to the stakeholders, you have to give them the complete understanding of what is the process that you have followed. See, failures will be there. Not every sprint will be successful. They want to find out whether you have the right process or not. The process is, if there is a problem, then do you know which team to go to? Have they given you an ETA? Have you explained them the criticality of your stories? And then have you explained to our stakeholders that there will be a delay? Is there a process in all, for all of these things? You understood, right? So if
Yes.
there is a delay, who is fixing it? Do they know the criticality of it? Do your stakeholders know that there is a problem and there could be a delay? If all of that communication has happened, great. Are the right parties troubleshooting it? If yes, then you are following the process. So whenever you are explaining the delay from your side, they need to know whether there is a plan or a process in place to handle these sorts of situations or not. And what is the corrective action you will take? You will make sure that the server management team, like Deepak said, that there is an alternative server from next time onwards, we will invoke that. Or you will, whatever is the corrective action that can happen, or you will say you spoke to the server management team and your architect, and they will come up with a solution in future to mitigate this issue.
Okay. Yeah, got it, sir.
Yes, Abhilasha, you want to?
Yeah, so we need to inform the stakeholders early because we have daily stand-up meeting daily, and we know the blockers or dependencies. So instead of waiting for sprint review or any other meeting, we can inform stakeholders early so they know like what issues or things are coming.
Understood. What else? So first is that you acknowledge that there is an issue, don't hide it. Secondly, do not blame any individuals. Explain them the real reasons why it has happened. Thirdly, explain them the processes and the plan behind whatever has happened. Are there any processes? Are there any plan for it? And then what else? What else can you do to do good in this situation? Your team has not completed stories. There is X reason for it. These are the three things you have done. Is there anything else that you can do and tell the stakeholders? They are fuming at you. We needed that feature. Why is the feature not coming? That is the situation. Then what else?
I will work with my team and ensure that we take up the work as soon as possible and complete it as soon as possible. We even work, extra hours to complete the feature. First, I will have a discussion with the team and then I would communicate with the stakeholders.
Okay, I'll give you.
Will we not prioritize here, sir? If they are saying like this, like, okay, we this was the bandwidth problem or there was some understanding problem, so like let's prioritize the remaining work in the next sprint. These are the first task that we are going to pick up and then complete it.
Yes, that is there. But I'm saying your stakeholders are in front of you and they are fuming and they are asking you why we couldn't complete the stories. So how you are going to handle the situation? So first three steps are clear, that you will explain them what happened. You will explain them that there is a process in place. You will explain them. One other thing that you have to highlight is whatever is completed, highlight that. Maybe you have completed the UI part of it, or maybe the backend logic is completed and half of the UI is pending because of this issue. So in situations where you are caught up like this, highlight what is completed. Say this is completed first, and as it is agile. Agile means that there will be an incremental delivery. So now we have done the backend work, half of the UI logic is also there. We can show you that, and now the issue is also resolved, and within next sprint, even before the next sprint, on the day 6 or 7, all we will be able to complete this, and we can show you the entire functionality. See, basically, they want to see whether you can handle this critical situation or not. And these situations will come, right? So how do you handle these situations? Without emotions, based on the data. This is what the problem was. This was the process which we followed, and we had highlighted on day 4 itself that there is an issue and there would be a delay. Explain them. They are coming on day 8 or day 9 in sprint review. You tell them that you have already sent a mail on day 4 highlighting there would be a delay on this because of the server issue, and now highlight whatever is done. So tell them we could not show you a complete story because of this reason, but we can show you how the backend logic is working and some part of the UI is also ready. And the other part, and highlight the importance of incremental delivery. When you say it is not done, it is not like 0% progress. There is 40, 50, 60%. You show the positive aspects of it. Okay. Then, like you said, reprioritize the work, whatever is the priorities now, whatever is the top priority item, then focus on that in the next sprint, like you explained. That was fine. So is this clear? How do you handle this sort of situation, Venkatesh sir?
Sir, again, the same question asked by the director. Actually, this is leadership round, and he asked me this question: the user stories are not completing. The team is not uh, able to do the user stories. Explain. Then he asked me explain it in a scenario, not just explanation. I need a scenario because you had experience, you have faced. Maybe I need a scenario. Then I said that I have faced the scenario. What the best approach is, the data driven approach is the best part that works here. And I have used the sprint forecast accuracy where the team is committing 60 and they're able to do only 40 to 35, sorry, 40 stories, they're able to do only 25. And the lead time consistency is also high because they for similar stories they are taking 3 days, and sometimes they are taking 5 days. And the blocked percentage is also 20%. That it the block things are piled up and no one is caring. They are just saying that it is escalated and no one is tracking. That is what the scenario here. And I explained the okay, and I have done the RCA and came to know that the team is not understanding the user stories. That means the product owner is not completely available. I'm not complaining that product owner about the product owner. The product owner is a busy person. I understand that, but his availability is important. That is what I have to teach the product owner, and I have done that. And second, after that, I have given this data to the senior management and make them understand that the predictability of the team is what to be achieved at least for the first 4 to 5 sprints, so that the team can understand what they can commit and what they can deliver. If you are still pushing on them and not making them to pull the work, then this problem will continue. This is what my approach is, actually.
Correct. And you also could have articulated in a structured flow.
Actually, I explained it in a scenario, actually.
Fine, fair enough. This is a very, very popular question because it's a very popular situation. All of these Scrum Masters get into this because not every time you are going to complete your story. Yeah. A lot of times. Kiran, what has been your experience here?
Mine, I had a different experience actually. It was like we completed it, but problem is post that one on testing we came to know that it was like it is dependent to some other business data also. Like it got affected some other business data. And there we are able to identify that the dependency, and again we have to rework on that one. It took like another 2 days to complete that one. So we are before giving that presentation time, this has came to notice. So again, we have explained the same scenario to the business who is expecting this as stakeholders, and again we have reworked on it in the next sprint. Like, and we said that what are the next things? What we did is like, what are the impact data is there? Which are the teams are getting impacted? We started communicating to the all business teams what is steps we are going to take in, and is there anyone is getting affected with this this kind of activity or something. So we started receiving the communication from the other team that they are okay or not, else there is a chances of affecting. So we avoided that in the next sprint onwards, next quarter sprint onwards. It made a smooth work actually after that one. Smooth launches.
If the problem is incomplete stories, crux is don't hide, explain clearly what was the reason, and in explaining the reason, explain the process that has been followed. Basically, they are looking out for a process. If there is a process, then it is fine. There is no problem. If there is a plan for the, and if there is a stakeholder concerned, focus on transparency and the process fix rather than blaming any person. The process, so let us say it could be the requirement is not clear, a technical gap could be there, or whatever was the issue. Explain clearly that there is a fix in place, and negotiate. If this maybe the story was too large, we could not complete it, then in that case you have to negotiate with the PO, break the stories. And in retrospectives, more importantly, the patterns should not be repeated. If we could not complete a story because of X reason, the same reason should not come in the next sprint. So eventually, if that continuous improvement culture is there, same reason is not repeated, then you are on the right path. Because typically there are 4, 5, 6 very reasons why we would fail. If they are avoided, then we are good on.
No, sorry, I forgot to add one more point which we did it as a. We have explained the stakeholders why we accommodated that in the next sprint actually, because those 2 days again we need time to understand that data which is got affected, and we have to rework on that, and we have to get the data, those data also. So for that it took us like another 2 to 3 days actually to understand that, and again we went for the grooming call and everything we done that. So we have explained that to the stakeholder, and post that we explained that why we are accommodated that into the next sprint, and we got the approval from them like that. So we in next sprint immediate action we took on that one. We worked on it. We worked on it on high priority basis. So this way we avoided that issue from next sprint onwards.
Good. Whatever this guy is saying, you can blindly copy. Good
Sir,
example. Good
sir,
example.
in this, I mean, Kiran, this thing example, okay. So that story should be go back to backlog, or it should be go back to, I mean, it should be sent to the next sprint. I mean, for grooming and all, everything we have to have, I mean, we have to do, right? So it should be in backlog, or, I mean, next sprint we have to move that story. Because the same question actually, am I audible, right?
Yeah.
For yeah, for example, the in connect with the same question actually. Okay, during the last 2 days of the sprint, okay, QA is testing two functionality and the developer is fixing bug. The sprint will not be delivered as planned. As a Scrum Master, what can you do? Give me real world answer like that.
Yeah, Kiran, you want to?
Sorry. What we did is we didn't put it in the backlog actually. We have reprioritized the next sprint backlog after the grooming session, and then we added this in the high priority in this in the next sprint, and we worked on it actually. Instead of putting it again putting it in the backlog, we reprioritize the next sprint backlog, and we accommodated this as first high priority product item in the
Essentially the same thing, logically the same thing.
long.
PC sir, you put it back in the backlog, then PO says, okay, this story is not completed, but it still remains our number one priority. We will take it up first thing in the next sprint. And they did.
And next sprint will be reprioritized, and one of the product will go, least prioritized product will go into the backlog into PO.
Okay, but in this situation, actually, we have to inform first stakeholder, right?
Yeah,
Because we will
yeah.
going to delay our sprint goal.
Correct.
Sprint goal, because most of the stakeholders will be looking for the high priority one only. So whenever we are taking the high priority in the next backlog sprint also, we will be working on the high priority one. We will be moving the least priority into the next that means to the backlogs, and we will be working on the high priority one also in the next one. Okay. You got, I think so. Suppose in next sprint we have some 15 point and 8 point, and this is the 15 point in this sprint, in the current sprint. So what we will do is we will move that 8 point to the backlog, and we will work on the both the 15 point in the next sprint, the current sprint under the upcoming sprint.
You mean to say, actually, means whatever some issue is there at particular task. So that particular task have to, we have to take, we have to conduct grooming session, or
Yeah.
those items should we go back to the backlog, right? And we can,
in grooming session, what we will be doing is like we will current issue is like we didn't deliver the product actually, so we had the issues. So for first thing is what we will do is whenever we are not able to deliver the product, no, we will identify that one. Because once we came to know that one, it is because of the particular data. So we explain the user, that means stakeholders, and we started working on the grooming session that
I think his video got.
sir, this is actually frequently question this actually.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. You
Because
got it.
always miss, yeah, because last day actually something is happening and we are not going to deliver the this thing. Okay, sprint, cannot close the sprint because of these issues. So what we can do? I mean,
So very
what is
simple.
your, yeah.
You are going to put those stories in the backlog, reprioritize the backlog, and discuss the reasons why we could not complete those stories in the retrospective.
Yeah, that is
And
right.
in no sprint, you will be able to complete all 100% stories. If the stakeholders or the management is expecting 100% completion, then they are living in fool's paradise. That does not happen. So 67, there will always be some challenges in some stories. See, out of 10 stories, 100%, 10, 20% stories will turn out to have very critical marks. Some stories will, some acceptance criteria will not be clear. Some approval will be delayed. This will happen to 10, 20, 30% stories. If it is happening beyond that, then it is a problem. But 10, 20, 30% stories will have challenges. Yeah? This is software development.
What in my real experience happened is like whenever we are doing any sprint, no, achieving 60-70% itself is a great thing, because we have to get approvals from multiple teams, and we have to get that we have to cross verify with every team actually, post testing and coming to the production also. Once the product gets into production, again there will be multiple issues actually. Again we have to take back them. Again we have to rework on it. You know, we are
No,
in
but
the
Baba,
data.
no, I get it, but there should not be multiple issues. If there are
Yeah.
multiple issues, then we have to be very
Because multiple stakeholder, at the end of the day, multiple business will be attached to the one kind of work actually. So we don't know the way the impact will reflect actually. Sometimes it will happen.
correct.
because some of the business teams, they'll be very quiet for a long time because they'll be in the old tradition method, and suddenly one day they will come with our data got affected. So we have to cross check with it.
Yeah, that's how it is. But
It
this is
happened
a
for
good-
us actually.
you got an idea of what you are going to.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, enough. Yeah, this is anyways Friday. So now we'll start on Monday with stakeholder management and conflict management. Then we'll move on to release management, those three things, risk management, those four things. Then we'll go on to couple of other interesting scenarios are left. Then safe.
CI/CD also you said that you can accommodate in the next one.
Yes. Yep. Okay, I think you had a this is good. Yeah, you guys are talking a lot. This is the whole objective of this exercise, that you guys start talking on these things, and this is good. Okay, anything else? Should we wind up?
Sir, one question.
Hmm.
Just how to answer, like if you are joining as a Scrum Master in the new team or project, and how you will assess the maturity, agile maturity of the team.
Agile mature. Okay, let's take it up first thing Monday morning. Okay. Agile maturity. There are a couple of models on this. On a very simple level, are they doing all the ceremonies effectively? Is the in sprint planning, are they taking into consideration capacity? Are they taking into consideration past velocity? In daily stand-ups, are they using blockers and dependencies method? In sprint review, are they showing proper working software? Do they have DOR, DOD acceptance criteria? Retrospectives, are they taking up action items? What is the participation rate? So that's your basic model, how you assess the agile maturity. Okay, but there is a couple of other audits you can run. I'll give you those also. Okay, but on a basic level, this is how you assess whether you do agile or not. Okay, I'll do a quick poll, and then there is one other topic we have to do quickly, is agile transformation. We have already covered it, but just the formal words, I have to get into that. Okay, have fun on the weekend, man. Take care. See you on Monday.
Bye, sir. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, sir. Bye.
Thank you.
Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Happy weekend.